Hello everyone and welcome back to the Ability 411. It's Wednesday and I am your host Amber Marcy. This week I'm going to talk to you a little bit about accessibility within the that I've encountered within the United States and some foreign countries that I've been to. I will start with letting you know that there is an act that was put into place in 1990 called the Americans with Disabilities Act. Which has put into place some laws that and guidelines that when building something new have to be followed and put into place to follow a handicap code. Some of them, I don't really know who came up with these ideas and how they think that they're accessible or what makes them accessible, but we're not going to knock them for trying because they're trying. So, with that, I'm going to share a couple stories. One is hotel rooms. I travel a lot, especially with rugby. Rugby is a sport that I play that I really like, and we drive to all of the tournaments and we stay in hotels for the weekend. A lot of hotels think that an accessible room consists of a bar in the bathroom. A bar that I'm not really quite sure what I'm going to do with that bar because my hands are like this, so I can't really grip it. I'm not going to stand. That bar serves absolutely no purpose for me. But for some reason, they get by with calling it a handicap room because it's got a bar. The bathroom doesn't have to be big enough, even for my wheelchair to fit in. And this has happened here in the United States. But yet, they consider it handicap accessible and they get away with it. This can be really frustrating, and I'm really glad that I don't need to sit on a toilet to pee because I would have been in a real predicament quite a few times within my rugby travels and other travels that I've done. Secondly, I'm going to go on to restrooms. It can be really frustrating because, as all of you viewers probably know, sometimes the littlest hole in the wall bar or restaurants can be the greatest bar and restaurant. But when it comes to accessibility, they, for lack of better words, suck. Because they're an old building, they've been there before the Americans with Disabilities Act, and you get into a bathroom that you really can't even get your chair into. This is frustrating, and I'm not going to say it's unacceptable because if I really felt that way, I wouldn't go into a building that wasn't completely accessible. So I do have to say that sometimes I do bring my business to places that are not completely accessible because sometimes they just don't have the means to make it accessible with what they have to work with. I live in a very small town. One of my most favorite restaurants isn't accessible. They have 3 stairs and I have to go in through the kitchen. And it's frustrating. I don't like to have to go through the kitchen, but it's one of my favorite restaurants, so I deal with it. I can't really say whether that's the right thing to do or the wrong thing to do. Some people don't like to give their money to anybody that isn't accessible to them. And I think it's just a personal preference. So I'm saying with the little hole in the wall places, you almost have to expect that a bathroom's going to be like that and try and deal with it and make it work. I don't feel that it is right to try and make a big fuss about a place such as somewhere small. If it's somewhere new and it's somewhere that really should be accessible, I by all means say something because they're not going to know unless I tell them that, this really needs to be different because a person in, let's say, a power chair, I can quick jump up a curb with the help of somebody. I can't do it on my own because I'm just not that cool. but I'm pretty cool. So I can go up a curb if there's not a curb cut, or if, the curb cut's way at the other end of the parking lot. Somebody in a power chair doesn't have that luxury. So I guess they may have more struggles, and I don't know those struggles because I'm not in a power chair, but I can imagine that it's got to be really frustrating, especially when you want to go to those little hole-in-the-wall places because they're the best. Bathrooms, I'm lucky. I'm a tiny person and I have a small chair. So I haven't encountered many issues with bathrooms. And I've been lucky. I've been really lucky. But I know that, as Tiffany said in her video, she's encountered a lot of problems that, sometimes you really have to fight for your right to do something. I can't say I haven't used a men's bathroom or asked if a place had a little another little room I can go in. I mean, these are things I've had to do. I've just had to make it work. I don't get angry and leave and make a fuss. I try and make it work. When it comes to other countries, I've been to Europe. I went to London, and I was in Spain for quite a while. Our hotel in Spain was better than the hotels that we had here. It was amazing. It was all granite, shower, roll-in. They provided a chair. It was like, I felt like I was at the Taj Mahal when I was there. And it was, the room was absolutely just perfect. I had not one complaint. However, the cobblestone roads and trying to get around in a foreign country are very hard. The accessibility in other countries is difficult. And this is something you will encounter if you travel to other countries. I go to Mexico a lot as well, and I have the same thing. They don't have the laws here that we have, so the things that they do there, they're really just doing out of the kindness of their heart for those with disabilities. So accessibility, it can be frustrating. It can be really frustrating if something isn't accessible for you. And if it's something that you feel should really be accessible, by all means, bring it to the attention of the hotel or the restaurant or a concert venue, wherever you are. Bring it to their attention. But also, try and bear with them that they're doing their best. I mean, I really don't think anybody's out there to discriminate against us wheelchair users and not let us in restaurants. I think that it's in the works. I mean, we can't change things overnight. And like I said, yes, it has been 12 years, but we'll get there. And we'll get there by educating people and letting people know that, the more accessible, the better for everybody. And like I say in a lot of these blogs, it's all about educating those that don't know. And like I said, if there's more that you would like to know about the Americans with Disabilities Act and the laws and the guidelines that it entails, by all means, Google it and look at the information that they have. And if there's somewhere that you've had a problem with that you think you may have a case to bring to their attention, look at the Americans with Disabilities Act and make sure you have all your ducks in a row and bring it to their attention. But I think if we can bring it to their attention in a positive way instead of in a negative way, we will get a lot further. So with that, those are just a couple of stories that I've had as far as accessibility and a little bit of educational information if you would like to know more or do more about accessibility in your area. So with that, I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday, and I hope that you all have a really great week. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.